I bring you greetings from Detroit Area Agency on Aging. We want to say thank you all so much for coming out to this year's Regional Transportation Forum on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
We proudly present Senator Santana the 2023 Legislator of the Year Award. I would just say if we could just applaud and just thank her for her commitment and advocacy to keeping aging issues at the forefront of the legislative agenda.
On behalf of the Area Agencies on Aging Association of Michigan and the Detroit Area Agency on Aging, it's just a thrill to be able to present this award to Senator Santana, who's just been such an incredible advocate for older adults and people with disabilities. So, Senator, thank you. And on behalf of AAAs across the state, we present you with our Legislator of the Year Award.
I'm very grateful for this honor. Definitely it's the work that you do that inspires me each and every day to get up in the morning to make sure that I'm giving 100% to all of our constituents. So thank you all who are here today, who are a part of this dialogue and continue to be a part of the dialogue on how we continue to support our grandmothers, our aunts, our loved ones, our neighbors in the community.
I always like to, share this quote with the audience from the late Elijah Cummings. Our decisions about transportation determine much more than where roads or bridges or tunnels or rail lines will be built. They determine the connections and barriers that people will encounter in their daily lives, and thus how hard or easy it will be for people to get where they need and want to go. Accessing, transportation could really mean the difference between isolation and opportunity. Something that we really wanted to do for a very long time is to have local organizations like the Detroit Area Agency on Aging design a forum that would benefit their local community, their local region, and have the conversation.
Let's get started with unleashing access for all and achieving more equity with autonomous vehicles. And at REMO, we convene public and private and other key stakeholders to advance global transportation outcomes for more efficient and sustainable movement of people and goods. And so we have a problem with our transportation system as it is a lack of supply, an adequate suite of options to make travel equitable, and we are using a high polluting option right now. AVs are a part of the solution. There are many, many pieces of our transportation system that need to be addressed. But the wonderful thing about the world we live in right now is that we are having a new opportunity with transportation as it continues to advance, new technologies to help us answer questions and create solutions. And so I do believe shared autonomous vehicles can address some of the transportation gaps in our system, and they are our pathway to unlocking access for all.
The RTA, or the Regional Transit Authority, we are the oversight and governing body for all transportation across Southeast Michigan. So we coordinate, we fund, we accelerate, and we help with really making sure that all of our transportation options across Southeast Michigan, which include DDOT, SMART, the People Mover, Q-Line, and also Ann Arbor Transit Area transportation known as the RIDE. We're all making sure really that they're properly funded.
At level one of the huge projects is DDOT Reimagine. That's something that we have done huge outreach with. That's something that we are reworking our whole system so that we can kind of fill these gaps where we weren't able to fill before. But part of that, this is not a quick fix. This is something that we are taking into phases, and it's something that's still in the process too, because it's something that we don't want to release, or we can't not release, because it wouldn't be fair if we don't have, like I said, the drivers and the actual the workforce behind it to make what the people.
SMART makes a change. It has a ripple effect throughout the entire community that ends up being affected, the rider gets affected by it. You have to look outside in and inside out. That's sort of the theme of what we do it smart. Is you can't just make a decision in a vacuum. You have to think about it in its entirety.
We need to make sure we have a robust, a fully funded, and a broadly accessible public transportation system, so everyone has that access to whatever those opportunities are.
I was asked to just mention a few of the key takeaways from all the things that we heard from all of these great speakers today. One is, I think, the importance of leadership on the issue, whether that was Senator Santana, Ron Taylor, the panel here. And we need to continue to build that leadership when it comes to representing older Americans, but also transit. And how we make sure that happens. And we also heard that DEI starts at the top, and I couldn't agree more with that. Transportation directly impacts our health and fitness, and there were some great numbers regarding that. But I think that when we look at the future of mobility and we think about autonomous vehicles, also how do we fund transportation and transit into the future, we need to be looking at it now and how it relates to older Americans, but also how it relates to affordability. It's too late to develop the program and then come back and say, oops, we need to figure out how to make it affordable. The entire organization when it comes to DEI needs to be involved, and we need to approach it with humility. I thought those were great comments. When we look at what are the challenges, we know what the challenges are. And I think this panel is taking actions that they can to move those challenges forward. We have challenges with frequency, first and last mile, hiring and staffing, but they are focused on improving in all of those areas. We also talked about the essential role of community and community partnerships, whether that's looking at new partnerships like the hospital systems, great idea, but also the idea of really being to listen and being accountable to individuals and providing that space and that time to be able to be accountable. So great job doing that as well. The last thing that was mentioned by Tiffany, which I think is a really interesting point, is transit is an economic engine. And what I want to say about that is we all need to focus on all the benefits of transit because, like it was said, it's not always number one with everyone, but it's right in there for a lot of different reasons. We have heard in the past that sometimes we focus so much on why transit is important to me that we don't focus on why transit's important to the others.
And can we just give another round of applause for this awesome panel that came before us today? We understand that we've heard a lot and we know that there's still a lot more work to be done. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. Again, thank you all so much for coming and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.